Have been licensed and signed by the International Ice Hockey Federation. Tämän ottelun tuomarit on nimennyt kansainvälinen jääkiekkoliitto. The referees päätuomari Mikko Kaukokari, Miroslav Stolch. The linespersons linjatuomari Erik Katleo, Tarrington Bienchek.
Game 2 of day 1, game 2 of an 8-game opening weekend here in Tampere as we look at the officials for this game between Sweden and Germany. Mikko Kaukokari of Finland is one of the referees. Miroslav Stolch is the other. Erik Catania of Switzerland and Tarrington Wyonzik. Jorgen Regina, he is the other linesman. There is Harold Kreis, the new coach for Germany. And there's a look at Sam Hallam, the new coach in behind the bench for Sweden, as Sweden and Germany get set to meet here at the 2023 World Hockey Championship. Your netbinders for this game for Germany, it'll be Matthias Niederberger, DEL in Munich. They won a league championship. And Lars Johansson plays SHL in Frölunda. After 5 seasons in the KHL, he will be in goal for Sweden as these two teams get set to meet here in Tampere.
And as we look at the lineups, Dennis, this should bode to be like a 1-0 or 2-1 game if you go by what the scoring is for the history of this year for the players on both teams. Germany does not have a guy who scored 20 goals in this game anywhere. And, you know, everybody comes from different leagues. And the Swedes have 2. So that kind of surprised me. Usually, I think Sweden have a lot of guys who are gunners and have 25 goal seasons or maybe 30, but even Alexander Nylander has scored 25 goals. That was in Wilkes-Barre of the American Hockey League, and Andre Peterson scored 21, playing for HV 71 here in Sweden. So it's interesting to see how the scoring goes in this game.
And we are underway, and Moritz Seider will go back for it. It gets stuck in a puddle to the right of the German netminder.
That's not fun. That is not good. That just stopped dead. Should have gone behind the net.
Moritz Seider took one look to see who was where, and all of a sudden realized the puck wasn't where it was supposed to be.
Yeah, that's right. He had overskated it. That was nasty for sure. So they'll have to be aware that they do spread a lot of water on this ice. We noticed that when we came in before game 1, but they had a chance to set up. So they'll have to be aware there. But the fact that Moritz Seider even showed up for Germany when the coach said prior to the game, we didn't think he was coming until the last minute. Boy, are they happy he showed up.
Dominic Cahoon in to take the face-off for Germany. We'll take it against Leo Carlson, the 18-year-old that Ryan talked about off the top of the show. He's got some size, the youngster, 6'3", 194. 3 goals, 6 points at the recent World Junior Championship. Here's a turnover. Germany will carry into the front of it, and it comes, and unable to get a stick on that was J.J. Peterka of the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah, this Swedish team's an interesting mix. They've got about a dozen guys that are 30 years old or more, and then you've got Leo Carlson, who's 18, who is the #1 prospect in all of Europe, according to Central Scouting.
And a lot of former NHL players on the Swedish roster. We'll talk about them as this game goes on, but there's a number of them. There's one, Jacob De La Rose.
Well, the first game that we did started off with breakneck speed, and there were hardly any whistles in the first 6 or 7 minutes. Here already things are starting at a totally different pace.
Sent around the boards, Jonathan Pudas will put this back in behind the net. Pudas with some great offensive skills for a smaller defenseman. Carried in along the far side boards, and that got intercepted as the cross-ice pass from Saramis failed to materialize. And Sweden back on the regroup with Anton Lindholm. Colorado pick back in 2014. It gets turned over, and a centering pass. Maximilian Kastner didn't get much on it. In front it comes. Save made by Johansson as the first good scoring opportunity goes to Fabio Wagner.
And this ice is a problem, Dennis. Lindholm was coming out of the zone, and he basically just overskated the puck just for a second because he was looking to make his play. Ends up making a bad pass. Germany turns the puck over, and they get a scoring chance possibly at the last second, but good diving plays and recoveries, and then a big save by your goaltender will do it. But these first couple of minutes now, I think, have a couple of players unnerved, and rightfully so, because there are patches of wet ice that just literally eating the puck.
Maximilian Kastner, number 7 for Germany, 3 assists in last year's World Junior Championship. Centering pass by Fishbook goes to the far side boards. Marcel Nobles tries to dig it out of the corner. He can't. Gets a little bit of help there from Kastner. And now Sweden will control with Anton Peterson. This gets flipped out through center. Gets tied up in front of the German bench. Battle on the far side. Par Lindholm, another former NHLer, trying to work it free. Finally, it does come loose. Patrick Nemeth. Yes, another former NHLer. And Nemeth will play it, but there's a change happening, and there's no one there in a Swedish uniform, and a couple of chances on the short side for Schutz. Shot from the line, that never got through. Stahoviak sends it in behind to the near corner. Play back to the far side. Schutz goes after it. He'll leave it in the corner for Toomey. Stahoviak gets dumped on the far side boards. And Rasmus Sandin, the former Toronto Maple Leaf, now Washington Capital, will take over in behind his own net for Sweden. For Henrik Tomarnis. And Tomarnis will play this in. 3rd World Championship for Tomarnis. And there's a look at Lucas Raymond.
Lucas Raymond's got some serious speed and some great skill. Detroit Red Wings going to have him for a long time, I'm sure. He's had some injury problems at times, but that skill level will show certainly in a tournament like this. Both these teams, though, sort of playing their way into this game. A very different feel from game 1.
Rundstrom plays it back in behind his own net. Sandin will play it ahead. Lucas Raymond will give chase. Lindbergh to the bench after feeding that pass up the boards. Tiffels couldn't get anywhere for Germany, and Tomarnis will play it back in behind the net. Comes around the boards as it gets away from Carlson. Carlson gets it back, gets it for Lucas Raymond. Raymond will pitch it back to the blue line for Tomarnis. He tried to leave it there. Gets away from Sandin, and Sandin will have to backtrack out of his own end. Up it comes, and Raymond will dump this in. Mueller chases it back. Moritz Mueller plays in Cologne. And the pass, no one there, and this will go for an icing call, and the faceoff will come back.
This one's been a little edgy already as well. There have been a couple of hits along the wall. I know Visman was not very happy the way he got hit. He felt like he was facing into the glass. And the Swedes coming out and hitting. We'll see if that continues. That was Rundstrom with the hit, trying to get aggressive on the forecheck.
Canada trying to take the crowd out of the game in Riga. Lawson Krause, an early goal, 1-0 Canada. Pudas will send this back into his own zone. And then he'll take the return pass and start up the ice. This gets deflected at the line and grabbed off and turning it right back the other way is Saramis. And Pudas, he'll leave it there, taken by Anton Lindholm. Plays SHL in Leksand. He'll leave it for Pudas, and Pudas starts the attack. Sends it up on the left side. Jacob Delarose, the former Montreal draft pick, gets rubbed out. Mueller gets tied up in the corner in his own end. Looking for a loose puck out of the pile is Marcus Sorensen. And it's cleared out at center ice. Nobles, he tried to feed that through the middle, looking for Eel. It got intercepted, and Peterson will take the pass and send this deep into the German zone. Par Lindholm goes in after it. Fishbrook trying to get a stick on it, can't. Nemeth will send it around the boards. This gets corralled in behind the net. Back to the line it comes, wrist shot, and good save there by Niederberger as that came through some traffic.
Bengstrom's got a really good release there. He snapped that one off. I think it surprised the goaltender Niederberger a little bit. That had some velocity on it, but he was able to see it cleanly.
Bengtsson sends it up, heads to the bench to start the change for Sweden. And slowing this down is Jonas Mueller, who plays in Berlin. Born in Berlin and pretty much played all of his hockey in Berlin. This gets turned over. Tomernes leaves it there for Grundstrom. And back for Sandin. Rasmus Sandin got it up for Jacob Silverberg. Silverberg couldn't get anywhere. Kept into the line by Mueller. Mueller dishes it off. Shot from a sharp angle. That got turned away. Back up into the high slot it comes. Toomey gets the return pass and lets the wrister go, and that missed the target. And now Tomernes will touch it. That went up and out of play, and we get a stoppage in play.
Of course, in a tournament like this, we need to have a furry friend with us. And that furry friend is Lightning! As you can see, Sparkle Nelson is Sparkle Nelson hard. He wants a high five on his picture, so please give up his Lightning!
So still scoreless, but I think safe to say Germany has had the better scoring chances in the early going.
Yeah, there haven't been a lot of looks for either team. It's pretty carefully played game so far, which according to what we were talking about when the game started, there's not a lot of firepower, so both teams look to be willing to play a very cautious game and see what develops.
So 2-0 now, Canada over Latvia. Back to the studio, Dave Reed, Laura Dyken will take a look at both of these games with some analysis after the opening period. Mueller for Germany, plays it back. Dominic Cahoon sends it on for Tiffels. Tiffels will play it in. Cahoon goes after it. Getting there first was Lindholm. He'll send it on for Pudas. Pudas sends it up the middle for Jacob Delarose. It got caught in his skates, and Dominic Cahoon will jump on the loose puck. Born in Czechia, but has spent most of his hockey career in Germany. J.J. Peterka, number 33 for Germany, couldn't pick that up cleanly. Lucas Raymond will drop that back. Nylander will send this back at the line for Tomernes. Tomernes back for Alexander Nylander, the former Buffalo first-round pick. He'll drop it back. Leo Carlsson, projected by Craig Button to go number 3. I think that's where Craig has him on his list.
Yeah, a couple of guys had him at 3. He said 3-4 from pretty much everybody.
Cross ice pass, and Lucas Raymond has this go off his stick. and up and out of play.
Yeah, we'll see how much that big line centered by Lucas Raymond, how much they play. Are they going to play them more than everybody else? Alexander Nylander on the other wing and Leo Carlson that we just talked about.
It's a good preliminary for Sweden last year. They were the only team to beat Finland in the round robin portion. It was an overtime win. Went 6-1, and then in the quarterfinals ran into Canada, and that was the end of the tournament for them. The quarterfinal day is such a emotional day for teams because you come in with all this hope and you're done. You pack your bags and you go home. At least once you get past there, you get to play for a medal. But
yeah, the one-game shots are brutal for sure. Especially a couple of guys are having a bad night, or a goaltender, God forbid, has a bad night. You're done so quickly, and it seems like you feel like it was all for nothing in the end.
Lucas Bengtsson back into his own end. A couple AHL seasons in Wilkes-Barre Scranton for him. On for Berggren. Berggren will dish it off, and Peterson will get rubbed out, but offside is called against Sweden at the line.
Andre Peterson, 21 goals, playing in the Swedish league, and he's tops. When it comes to Sweden, the Swedish league is, of course, a terrific one. You've got the NHL is the top of the line, and the Swedes know how to play the game. You get 20 goals and 21 goals in that league, you're doing something good. So Andre Peterson will be a guy they're looking to produce some offense. But so far in this game, everything pretty chopped up, and nobody really is getting into the middle of the ice for any looks at the net.
We had a look at Harold Price and his coaching staff for Germany from Winnipeg. 75-76 was with the West Kildonan North Stars, the Manitoba Junior League. A little bit of time in the Western League. It was called the Western Canada Hockey League at that time with the Calgary Wranglers, and then heard that they were looking for hockey players in Germany. And away he went, spent a lot of time with Adler Mannheim. Gets deflected up at center. Nobles will leave it there. Kastner follows up on the play, sends it around the boards. Nobles waits for it, lets it come to the line for Mueller. He swings it all the way back to the near side. Some hesitation there between Pudas and Berggren as to who is going to go for the puck. And now it does end up on the stick of Jonathan Pudas. He'll play it for Lindholm. Back for Pudas. Pudas slowly sends it up at center ice. Carried in, backhanded in deep by Dennis Everberg, another former NHLer, Colorado. Everberg swings it around the boards. Tomernes goes after it. And Mueller. Moritz Seider is there for Germany. Seider's pass on and off a stick and right back into the German zone it goes. Niederberger will swing it around the boards. Bounces up at center and carried in by Germany. Long shot. Niederberger turned that one away. And will get flipped down the ice, and back into his own zone is Lucas Bengtsson. At center, dumped in by Patrick Nemeth. Nemeth, a Dallas second-round pick, Calder Cup with Texas back in 2014. Cleared out to center, some good hands there by J.J. Peterka. Peterka comes in, dishes it off just beyond the reach of Tiffels. Kept in at the blue line, Mueller gets it down, Peterka. Peterka and Tim Stützle. Stützle's not here this year, but Peterka and Stützle were a terrific combination in World Junior Hockey for a World Junior Championship. As we look at Jonas Mueller, there's Peterka.
Good year in Buffalo. He's got an edge to his game, too. The NHL games, I've seen him play quite a bit over the last year or so. Paterka's got a good edge to his game, and he certainly showed some skills there on that last shift. 12 goals this year in Buffalo, 32 points. Not bad numbers, but I think the way he plays and as good as that team is starting to become, the Buffalo Sabres, that he certainly could make those numbers go north very quickly next year.
One of 3 youngsters that contributed on a regular basis for the Buffalo Sabres. Jack Quinn had 37 points. Owen Power had 35 points. And they got some playing time there with the Sabres. Here's a chance for Carl Brunstrom. Brunstrom went to tee it up, and it got poked off his stick. Good defensive play there by Moritz Seider, who had a terrific tournament last year for Germany. Brunstrom tries to bring it to the front of the net. Moritz Seider ties him up. Brunstrom stays with it. And now finally it is turned over, but tight quarters. And to the left of Niederberger.
That was Moritz Seider, who handled the rush on his left side, ran into the far corner, made a play there in the corner, and then came back to the net and checked the player coming out from behind the net. So that was a one-man shift in the German zone by Moritz Seider.
Cleared back in behind the net. He averaged 22 minutes per game last year, which was 8th best. He was a +5, which led the German team in that department. And as Brian mentioned earlier, certainly good news for Coach Harold Kreis. And Moritz Seider said, yes, I will be in Tampere. Off a stick and cleared back down the ice. Race forward, Wagner. Plays it around the boards. Leon Hudel. In his first World Championship, controls now for Germany. Almost turned it over. In fact, he did. Everberg plays it back for Pudas. Pudas sends this up top. Everberg's shot goes off a leg to the near side boards. Wojciech Stachowiak picks it up there for Germany, sends it out the center. Stachowiak, born in Poland, but has played quite a bit of hockey in Germany. Poland and Great Britain back on May the 5th, I believe it was. Both advanced, and they will be in the World Championship next year, which will be played in Czechia, in Prague and Ostrava, as it was back in 2020, I believe. I should check my notes before I say things. I'll check during the break, see if I'm right or not. Scoreless.
Lots of good drummers here. Come on. All right. Play some drums. Come on. Come on. Right.
Talked about new coaches for both of these teams. Harold Kreis in behind the bench for Germany, taking over from Tony Soderholm, who got a job in Switzerland. And Sam Hallam taking over from Johan Garpenlov, who came into last year's tournament knowing that that was going to be his last time in behind the bench with the Swedish men's team, and they had a good tournament. Nemeth back forward for Sweden, dishes it into the corner. Tiffels trying to tie his man up. It comes loose, and Silverberg will slip this down the ice, and an icing call. Silverberg of the Anaheim Ducks, an Ottawa draft pick, involved in the Bobby Ryan trade.
Johansson hasn't had to make a lot of saves in goal for Sweden. He had He had one chance there that watched the replay of it during the break. It was labeled for the top corner from J.J. Paterka. He had to fight that one off.
You know, we talked about Finland as to which goalie they were going to start because all three have terrific credentials. Yeah. Some thought that it was going to be Jesper Wallstad, the Minnesota first-round pick, that was going to be given the opportunity in game one and be given the opportunity to run with this, but it is Lars Johansson who gets the start in this game. Played in Frölunda. Tied up along the far side boards. Lucas Raymond for Sweden waiting for it, but kept in by Germany. Shot from Zuber, and Johansson kicked that one away. Now this will get flipped back, and Germany back on the regroup with Leon Hudel. Zuber back for Hudel. And on up at center ice. The lead pass there from Eel doesn't go anywhere, and play whistle down on the offside.
Right,
Under 5 to go in period one.
For the legendary referee dance, and here we have Mr. and Mrs. Ikea will show us how it's done.
Okay, folks. Referee dance. Easy, folks.
Easy.
Interference. Yes. Penalty shot. Wash out.
Here we go.
Let's go.
Yeah, put your hands together for Ikea. Yo, Rossberger, you got the moves. All right, put your hands together for the referee dance, kid, everybody. Excellent moves.
Scoreless here in the opening period. USA beating Finland 4-1 in the first game here in Tampere. That opened the IIHF 2023 World Hockey Championship here in Finland. Czechia over Slovakia 3-2 in a game that saw all 5 goals coming in the opening period. In the other one, and tomorrow we'll get to see the remaining 4 teams here in Group A. We'll get going with France and Austria, and then Hungary and Denmark. And then it'll be Germany and Finland to close out a triple header tomorrow here in this building. And then another triple header on Sunday. So we talked about ice conditions. They do get a workout, and it is fairly warm outside. Beautiful weather here in Tampere. Rasmus Sandin back for a loose puck. Leo Carlson. Carlson tried to go across ice. Good stick there by Kastner to break that one up. Commernis will try it again. On for Sandin. Sandin bumped off the puck. Fishbook and Nobles trying to drive that to the front of the net. Kastner chases it down. Nobles goes to the front of the net with that size of his, 6'3", 205. Comes back at the line. Fishbook looking, fires, deflected, and Johansson makes a good save, and he'll hang on to it.
One of the few times the Germans really got into the dangerous scoring areas in Sweden's zone. Look at all the yellow jerseys there. Everybody gets somebody picked up. There's a rebound there for a second. Kastner's hanging around. The shot from the point gets through. That's always the important part for Fishbook. A little bit of trouble handling it there from Lars Johansson, but he's able to cover it up in time.
We talk about no Tim Stützle, another player who was not here this year at the World Championship. Matthias Plachta, 6 World Championships for Germany for him, not part of this team. And then, of course, Philipp Grubauer, who carried the load in goal last year for Germany, tied up with the Seattle Kraken right now in that series with Dallas.
And on the Swedish side, how much do you think Sweden would have liked that Victor Hedman here after the Tampa Bay Lightning went out in the first round? But I know that Victor got injured in the second last game of that series. I believe it was a hip injury for him. So I'm guessing that's what precluded him from joining them. And they have Nemeth and Rasmus Sandin, who of course are NHLers. And Swedes have always been known for having big names, huge stars on defense year after year after year. And Victor Hedman would qualify as that, all due respect to the guys that I just mentioned, that they don't have that huge big stud on defense they often do.
There's a chance that never got through. A shot from the high slot from De La Rose. Oliver Ekman-Larsson has been to a number of tournaments for Sweden as well, and he's not here this year. There does come a time when the World Championship does kind of see a bit of a transition to younger players. We'll see that with Denmark tomorrow. There's a chance, left pad save made by Johansson. Sebastian Dahm, who has been a staple in nets for Denmark, not part of the team this year. Julian Jakobsen, who has been a longtime member of Denmark. And now there is a penalty coming up, and Germany will go to the power play. First man advantage of this game that's still looking for its first goal with 2:14 left in the first. It is Henrik Tomernes who will head to the box.
Yeah, that's an interference call for sure. Schutz gets it by him along the wall and then tries to go inside on him, and instinct says, yeah, I'm not going to let you go that easily. And when he makes contact, Schutz, I think, actually crosses his own feet up, but it was probably going to be an interference call anyway. First power play of the game.
Tomernes, a champion this past season in the Swiss League with Geneva. He's from Karlstad, where there was part of a World Hockey Championship there years ago. One of the first ones that I was at. In Koping, Karlstad, and Gothenburg. Teams moved around a little bit more back then. Nobles, as Germany goes to the power play. A power play that was 32% last year in the World Championship. To the side of the net it comes. This gets deflected away as Nico Sturm will go to the front of the goal. Back to the line it comes. Dubel doesn't shoot it. Backhand try in front of the net by Kastner. And that got turned away. Kastner's after it. Nico Sturm is there as well. Nobles is going to hustle over to the far side boards, but it's slammed around the wall and down the ice it goes, and Hudel will go back for Germany. Germany has outshot Sweden 8-4 so far in this game. Moritz Seider on for Tiffels. Frederick Tiffels will play it in behind the net, comes around, kept in by Germany. Dominic Cahoon sends it up top to Seider, gets it back. Cahoon, Fishbooks in the high slot. Cahoon back up top for Seider, near side Peterka. Peterka tried to go cross ice for Dominic Cahoon. Good defensive stick there by Par Lindholm, something he excelled at in the National Hockey League, was the defensive part of the game.
Peterka tried to force that pass right through the box, though. That seems like a predetermined play, that he has an idea of what he wants to do as soon as he gets it, but he's not really looking at what's happening in front of him. It was a pretty easy turnover for Sweden.
Seider, Cahoon, Fishbook, and a floater off a stick of Lindholm, and Johansson will hang on to it.
Well, power plays are tough for every team. When you first get a first one in the tournament, everybody's trying to get used to each other. You're trying to get your hands going. That's one of the tougher parts of the game. There's an interesting outfit.
Never know who's behind those glasses. Maybe somebody we know.
No.
Nope. Kept in at the line by Mueller for Moritz Seider. Seider's shot goes off the stick and wide. Into the final 10 seconds here of the period. No shots on that power play. Or 2 shots, rather. Flipped up through center, and this will bring the first period to an end.
Not a lot was happening for either team offensively. The game was played kind of in the middle of the ice. A lot of turnovers, a lot of whistles, and now that they've got their feet wet, maybe they'll go in and discuss what they've seen and try to get some offense going. Both teams in the same boat.
So 20 minutes done between Germany and Sweden as this game still awaits its opening tally.
Germany 9, Team Sweden 4. Laukauksen maalia kohti ensimmäisessä erässä. Saksa 9, Ruotsi 4.
Växer in i det hela tiden. Jävla tidsvis där ute på så sen jag sätter mitten i egen zon på backarna. De här jävla dropppassen till varandra, det är knappt.
Some days it can be difficult to get through to each other at work. Other days, it could also be as simple as something else accidentally getting in the way. Then, suddenly, one day, the pieces fall into place without you being able to say exactly why. Here at AJ Products, we can't solve all your problems at work, but we are here to help you design a better workplace. Have a better day at work.
Power break, -4.
Trycker vi upp oss här lite. Weiter. Komm, Boys. Weiter. Ja.
Lars Johansson was the busier of the two netbinders in that opening period. 9-4 were the shots. Matthias Niederberger in nets for Germany for this game.
I think he saw two shots that were really anything much. Niederberger. The Swedes got to get something going. 4 shots after an entire period. That's just not good enough. Talk about, you know, sort of feeling your way into game one of a tournament. That was certainly true for both teams, but I'd say even more so for Sweden. So we'll see if they can find a way to up the tempo and move the puck and get the offensive zone and get some looks at the net.
Jonathan Pudas, who plays in Skellefteå, led Sweden in ice time in that opening period at 7 minutes and 19 seconds. And JJ Peterka led Germany in ice time at 7 minutes and 32 seconds.
I think he was the most noticeable player for both teams, Peterka.
I agree. Peterka has the puck. Sends it into the corner. Dominic Cahoon trying to bring it to the front of the net. Got away from him. Kept it at the line by Mord Sider. Sider down to Peterka. Backdoor play. And in a little too deep on that backside was Dominic Cahoon. He played it out to the front of the net, but Johansson was there to kick it away. This gets played back in behind by Marcus Sorensen. Ottawa draft pick in 2010. 226 NHL games played with San Jose. Played in the Swiss A-League last year. Dominic Cahoon has lost his bucket. And we have an interference penalty coming up on the play. Jacob Delarose, who won 4 of 6 faceoffs in the opening period, will go to the box.
That bucket for Cahoon came off kind of easily. That was a little bit after the fact. He gets a cross check right across the hips there. And he ends up going down on the play. So the first power play in this second period here for the Germans to see if they can get some action towards the net instead of just being around the outside.
By the way, it was 2015, the last time the World Championship, so I was wrong. Last time the World Championship was in Ostrava and Prague. But I wasn't totally misguided because it was the World Junior that was there in 2020. I remember it being in Ostrava.
Okay, we'll let you off the hook.
Thank you. We were in Ostrava and Trinich. Played back at the blue line. Hudel will send this back down low. Visman trying to work that free. Visman on it on the far side, puts on the brakes. Power play for Germany, second man advantage of the game. Visman comes cross ice. Noble's looking for a slap pass, but it never got through as that got blocked. Noble's on it again. Gets pressured there by Everberg. Shot to the short side, kicked away. Johansson just got enough of that. Controlled in the corner by Marcel Nobles. Nobles sends this back at the line. Hudel goes cross ice. Visman with the shot. And that's deflected off the stick and up and out of play.
Well, the puck movement is there, but Visman's the guy who's ending up with the puck on his stick. There's a shot from the right side. They get one from Nobles early on, but Nobles made a pass across to Visman, and then Visman got a pass reception from the point as well. And Visman's not opened up. He's not ready for a one-timer. If you're going to be in that position, you're going to slide that guy down from the defense position to the one-timer spot. You've got to be willing to take that one-timer. He's not a threat at all, so it makes it easier for the penalty killers for Sweden, knowing he's not going to take that shot.
Seider for Peterka, back for Moritz Seider, back for Peterka, walks it in, snaps it to the short side. It got blocked. Par Lindholm giving chase on Peterka. Seider over to help out, finds Dominic Cahoon looking far side. Good save, Johansson. Peterka puts this back in behind the net, comes to the open corner. Fishbook will track this down. Fishbook will play it back. Tiffels gets it back to the blue line. Cahoon, Moritz Seider, Peterka. Peterka walks it in, and that's off the stick and up into the netting with now 21 seconds left in the minor penalty.
So they switched it out, and Visman left that left side, and Peterka comes out, but Peterka is a lefty on the left side. So the defenders, again, have time to get over there. There's no threat of a one-timer, which is okay if you want to do that. But for me, I think if you're going to have a lefty on the left side there, he's got to loop up and come downhill a little bit and be a bit of a threat and change the look. But they don't do that yet.
Cahoon with that slap pass looking for Tiffels, and it never did get to Frederick Tiffels. And now this will get carried down the ice and sent in deep by Marcus Sorensen, and that will about do it for the power play. Dominic Cahoon will put this behind the net. Power play is over. Moritz Seider carries to center, floats this deep into the Swedish zone. Rasmus Sandin will play this ahead. One shot on the power play. There's a chance, and unable to get a good clean shot through was Leo Carlson. And now a penalty coming up. And it is going to be a holding call.
I'll tell you what, Zuber did a good job there on that initial rush. He was beaten on that outside-inside move, and then he recovered to the front of the net and had to make a diving play. Did a good job there, but Zuber's the one who's actually going to the penalty box here in the long run for holding. Here comes the play. Germany had a line change. There's the move I was talking about. Look at him come back across here and make a really nice play defensively. But then what it does is he drops his stick as he made that play, and when he comes back, the free hand gets in use, and that was kind of a silly thing to do there, and he's going to serve a 2-minute penalty perhaps because of it. Sweden on the power play.
Sweden's power play last year at the World Championship, 29.6%. And Germany, the penalty kill was an issue last year, 52.9%, second last in the World Championship. Even though they were only shorthanded 17 times.
If I had to choose in a tournament, even in the NHL playoffs, if special teams, if you had to choose one, you know, in advance, I'd say I'd rather have good penalty killing than good power play. Because, you know, when you start leaking like that, gives the other team, because, you know, it's feeding their big guys on the other team that are on the power play all the time. Now you've got an issue transferring over 5-on-5. And when you have numbers like you just said from last year for them on the penalty kill, ouch, that that ends up kicking you big time.
Jonas Mueller clears that down the ice. Now it gets turned over. Eel will play it back in. Trying to catch up to that loose puck was Saramis in his second World Championship and second IIHF event for him. Had a goal in last year's World Championship. Sandin, good numbers in Washington after he joined the Capitals. Mueller gets pressured in the corner. Mueller will get some help though. Schutz tried to clear it, got stopped. Tomertis gets it across. Shot right on. Niederberger makes the save as Peterson unloaded from the near side.
There's another one of those situations where Germany thought they got the puck out of the zone and they tried to one-time it out, but Berggren kept it in. And as soon as that happens, that means you get guys stranded in the corner. There's Berggren at the point. He kept it in on the attempted clear, the cross-ice pass, and that's the best look that Sweden's had in quite some time.
27 seconds left in the minor penalty. To number 27, Maximilian Zuber. Another player on this German team that was born in Poland. 6th round Arizona pick was Zuber. Back in 2022, now plays in Munich, so a DEL championship for him. Tomertis on for Andre Peterson. Peterson looking back door. Off the corner boards, kept in at the line. On for Dennis Everberg. Dropped back. Bankston in front of the net. A chance in tight for Oscar Lindberg. And now it gets cleared out at center. Tomertis breaks it up.
That move by Lindberg just kind of backing its way in from the corner from beside the net. I always think that that bodes well later on. If you make yourself a threat, then the defensemen have to shade back a little bit to make sure that you don't go in there just unattended. And then that'll open up the bunker spot in the middle. So a lot of times it's about sequencing, and sometimes you're not always playing. Here's a good look at it. He backs his way in, gets a good scoring chance. Now the German D are going to be really well aware of that, and then that might give a chance to Lindberg to get the puck, and as they react to him next time, get the puck into the bumper spot for a terrific goal.
Played in Bern this past season. Phoenix draft pick back in 2010, 252 NHL games played for him. The Rangers, Vegas Golden Knights, and Ottawa. Bouncing puck up at center. Kudus will break it up and put it back inside the German blue line, but it doesn't get deep. Visman will circle back into his own end. 6'4", 207 for the 26-year-old Kai Visman. Fishbook goes after it. Johansson clears it away from him. Visman trying to hold it in Kent. Nobles couldn't get a stick on it. And Delarose will send it on. And a broken stick on the far side for Marcus Sorensen. Back in for Patrick Nemeth. And now good play there by Mueller. And now he'll try it again. Looks up the middle for Fishbook. Sends it on for Visman. Visman's left wing pass goes away from Kastner. And Berggren will bring it back in. Berggren drops it back. Slap shot by Carl Lindholm, and that was up high.
He got a lot on that one, and that was right at the head. Those, I think, are smart shots by a guy coming in like that. The odds of scoring are not that great, but if you can hammer it and have a little bit of shot intimidation, it helps.
A little bit of chin music. Scoreless here in the second.
In this tournament, we have hundreds and hundreds of volunteers working hard to ensure that we can all be here and enjoy this amazing tournament. In each game, we want to reward one volunteer of the game, and in today's game, it is a person who's been driving around, very important people around here in Confident. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm round of applause. The volunteer of the game, Johannes Sibelius.
Siinä vielä on
started last year's tournament with 4 straight wins over Austria, Czechia, Great Britain, and Finland, and then dropped an overtime contest to the United States on the heels of that overtime win over Finland, and then back-to-back wins over Norway and Latvia to finish 6-1 in the preliminary round. 4-3 loss to Canada in the quarters, and then of course Canada went on to the final to lose in overtime. Sandin trying to go backdoor. Silverberg was there, and it was, or rather Lucas Raymond was there, and cleared away before it got to him, and an icing call here against Germany.
Yep, that's where Germany takes a deep breath there. Sandin moved in from the point. Real nice play, and then at the last second, Germany reacted really well. Bottom of your screen, here comes Sandin coming in. There we go. The Germans come back into position pretty well and recover, and a lot of times that's really what it's all about. Moritz Müller was the guy who came in and confronted Sandin just in time and forced him to make a pass probably sooner than he wanted to.
15 points in 19 games with Washington for Rasmus Sandin. To the front of the net it comes, and it never did get to the stick of J.J. Peterka. He was there all by himself. Tomarnis will play this up at center. Sweden back in. Nylander hit to the front of the net. Pass never got there. Alexander Nylander trying to chase this one down. Comes to the near corner for Lucas Raymond. And Raymond gets it back to the blue line. And Lindholm with the shot that goes up and out.
There certainly have not been a lot of second opportunities either in this game for either team. And some of that is because, you know, it's good coverage. Players are boxing out, but I'm not sure that either team has established a really good, consistent presence in front of the goaltenders either, looking for tips and rebounds.
Good look at the netminder there, Matthias Niederberger. Talked about him winning a championship with Munich. His playoff numbers 1.89 and a .911 save percentage with a couple of shutouts. Deflected out through center. Jacob De La Rose will circle this back in. De La Rose will drop it. Everberg with the wrister to the short side. And Niederberger there to make the save and hang on to it.
Everberg had time and room there. That wasn't a great shot. Niederberger made that one look easy. He came out to the edge of the paint. He surely had an angle, and he looks like a big guy in the net. There's no doubt the German goaltender looks like he's got size, but he's played the angles really well. But I didn't think it was a great shot selection there by Everberger, who was able to sort of coast in and try to pick a corner, and it looked like he shot it in the middle of the net.
70 NHL games played for Dennis Everberg with Colorado. Plays in Rögle in Sweden. There's a shot blocked in front of the net. Loose puck taken off the near side boards by Eel. And he'll send Tomarnis back into his own zone. Henrik Tomarnis, SHL Defenseman of the Year back in the 16-17 season. In the NL, which is in Switzerland, Defenseman of the Year in 2021. In his third World Championship here with Sweden. And a lot of that only is third, simply because of what Brian talked about earlier, the number of terrific Swedish defensemen, despite the fact Tomarnis is 32. Sweden always had plenty of NHL defensemen that would come to this tournament.
Yeah.
Fishbrook sends his back down low. Nobles will let that go to Kastner. Kastner's pass intercepted by Par Lindholm. And Par Lindholm will send it back, and Zuber is there. Maximilian Zuber on for Moritz Seider. Ends up on the stick of Fishbrook. Fishbrook will send one towards Johansson. We'll get a face-off in the Sweden end of the ice.
Well, what happens when you can bring in a big guy, like we were talking about Moritz Seider for the Germans, getting him in the lineup is a huge sigh of relief for the coach, because everybody else then just sort of, you know, falls back into a better position, and he can use Seider a ton. So talking about the Swedish defenseman in the past, or you know, the chance for Victor Hedman to come over from the Lightning, he couldn't do it because of injury. Had he been here, that would have made a huge difference, not just to play on the ice, but where everybody else slots in after that.
Well, and just on that same topic, as you mentioned, the one player that the coach knows, if I need somebody in a key situation,
right,
there's the guy that's going.
Yeah, and the Swedes have always had that on the back end. It seems like huge names and NHLers who come over every year and make the difference.
Tripping penalty coming up. And I don't think Jacob Delarose is thrilled with this call as he heads to the penalty box for the second time in this game.
Tripping call. He's just trying to play the puck, and he missed it, and Maurice Seider gets his feet taken out from underneath him. Delarose is saying, hey, I'm trying to play the puck. It doesn't matter. You take the guy's feet out from underneath him like that, you're going to get that call all the time.
So back to the power play for Germany for the third time in this game. They had a shot early on the power play, and they have only had now their third shot on goal in this period. And that one coming from the lines from Moritz Seider.
That's a bit of a wasted shot there from the point. Nobody in front. Goaltender can see it easily.
And off the face-off, Par Lindholm will get this all the way down the ice. 106 NHL games played for Par Lindholm. Boston, Winnipeg, Toronto. Played in Skellefteå. Back into the Swedish zone. After it is Anton Lindholm, but it's kept in at the line by Seider. On for Dominic Cahoon. The pass was kind of waist high. Cahoon does a good job to control it. Peterka backdoor, and Johansson comes across and makes a terrific stop off Peterka.
And Silverberg got back there, I think, just in time as well too. That's the quickest puck movement that Germany's had in any of their power play. Beautiful little pass across there, and Silverberg, did he get his stick on that? Watch the stick come back in. Yeah, that's what I thought. Silverberg coming back and deflected that away. That was a beauty. Good read.
Controlled off the face-off is Nico Sturm in his first World Championship. Tried to pull that back for Germany, unable to do so, and cleared down the ice. Maximilian Kastner had to get away from him. Sorensen will carry it right back in, sends it deep. Oscar Lindberg going in after it. Canada now leading Latvia 3-0. Mackenzie Weegar with a power play marker. Dennis Everberg gets tied up and back down the ice for Nico Sturm. Sturm gets rubbed out in the quarter by Patrick Nemeth. Puck is still loose and comes back at the line for Hudel. Kastner, back up top it comes. Leon Hudel puts this in behind the net. Nobles tried to jam that one through, could not. Hudel back for Nobles, back for Hudel, and that shot rattles off the leg and goes wide. Visman, power play is over. Visman puts it to the front of the net. 2 shots on that power play for Germany, and here comes Delarose. Forced to the backhand by Mueller, tried to center it, there was no one there. In a Swedish jersey. And Germany will control. But it's kept in at the line by Sandin. Shot blocked away by Niederberger. Stahoviak tried to feed that through, trying to send Parker Toomey in on a break, but the pass was beyond his reach. And Sandin is back for it.
Stahoviak made some slick little plays along the wall, including that one, to get the puck out of the zone, get it behind the D-man, and at least start some kind of rush. But first of all, get the puck out of the zone under pressure. A guy coming from his backside and the defenseman right in his face. Those are the little kinds of plays that get you ice time at the end of a period, the end of a game.
Stahoviak 1 year in the USHL with Central Illinois, a couple of years at Michigan State. Zuber for Germany. Tight turns and brings it up. Has his pocket picked by Grundstrom. Grundstrom walks in. Backdoor play. What a save. Andre Peterson with a great opportunity on a nice setup from Carl Grundstrom. Tiffels leaves this up the middle for Dominic Cahoon. Cahoon will pitch this off the backboards. Putis is there to break it up. Gets it for Peterson. Peterson sends it up the middle for Anton Lindholm. And into the German zone it goes. Wagner for Peterka. Peterka is surrounded by Swedish defenders. And just no room to carry it deep into the Swedish zone. Turned over inside the line, and an attempted lead pass got blocked by Lindholm. On it comes for Silverberg, and that goes off a leg and wide, and Nico Sturm is on it.
It's a good thing Lindholm knocked that one down. That was breakaway time for Germany.
Bengstrom for Berggren. Berggren out of the corner. And Sandin unable to hold this in, and he'll have to backtrack. Back for Berggren. Sends it around the boards, and it's all the way back where Moritz Seider will settle it down. Under 5.5 to go here in the second period. This gets sent in by Saramis. Centering pass. Eel was there. Puck never got to him, and back for Sorensen. Sorensen tried to slip this one through for Sandin, who was up in the rush. Eel back for Germany, gets to the red line and sends it in. 35 minutes gone in this hockey game, and still looking for the game's first tally. This gets played around the boards. We expected a low-scoring affair.
Well, Germany's getting the puck deep at times, and when they do, there's really no forecheck now. Sometimes it's because of line change. The second periods make a difference, and sometimes you have to err on the side of caution. I get that, but they have to try to mount some kind of offense here too, and that's been difficult for them.
Putis for Peterson. Peterson looking for Par Lindholm in front. Putis jumps in from the line after the loose puck. Visman ties him up, and Mueller is on the loose puck. Jonas Mueller on for Visman. Visman rink wide for Fishbrook. Fishbrook puts on the brakes against the checking of Grundstrom, and Putis is on the loose puck. He'll play it back for Patrick Nemeth. Lead pass stopped at the line by Maximilian Zuber. And he'll pitch it off the boards and back inside the Sweden blue line where Putis has it. For Nemeth. Drops it back for Alexander Nylander. Gets it back, shot deflected, rebound. Couple of saves in tight by Niederberger.
I think that second rebound chance was really tough. He had great movement, though, laterally, making that save, but I think it was Lucas Raymond who had that chance. The second one bounced over a stick.
Nylander, Niederberger playing without a stick. And now he does go back and retrieve it. He started to go, and then the puck got turned over, and he hustled back into his 6x4 netting area. Nylander stripped of the puck, and Moritz Seider is on it. Seider tried to get that on for Tiffels, intercepted by Silverberg. Back to the line it comes. Wrist shot doesn't get through. Silverberg makes his way to the bench. Grabbed off by Mueller, trying to clear it up the boards. That's Morris Mueller, number 41. Centering pass, that got blocked by Moritz Seider. And the lead pass up the middle, that goes off the stick. J.J. Peterka trying to track it down off the quarter boards, could not. Berggren. He'll play it on the right side for Andre Peterson. Peterson stripped of the puck. Following up on the play, that was Oscar Lindberg. And Peterson and Peterka. And the pass back to the line, there was no one there. In a Tri-Crota uniform.
Well, the shots are still 12-10 in favor of the Germans now at this point. So it shows you how much both teams are playing in the structure. Both teams still looking to get plays into the prime scoring area in the middle of the ice, which differs from the adjustment the Americans made from the first period to the second and third as they started shooting from the outside and started taking the game over.
Grundstrom trying to wrap around. That got blocked by Niederberger. Flipped up the boards and out to center ice. Nice Saramis, and now Sweden right back in with Grundstrom. Grundstrom has had a good second period here for Sweden. On for Par Lindholm. Lindholm puts it behind Lucas Raymond, trying to work it out to the front of the net. Raymond got dumped. Puck is still free and finally grabbed off by Eel.
1 minute left in the second
To center and no further, and right back for Par Lindholm. He'll take a bump there from Jonas Mueller. And this is going to be an icing call. The face-off with 49 seconds left will come all the way back.
Well, the Germans will be glad that there's only 49 seconds left and another icing here. They've been strapped in their own end here for a while. Sweden turning pucks over, getting it back deep, moving them around. They're starting to wear guys out, and there's a few Germans out there who's going to need this break in between periods if they can escape with the score still 0-0.
Jacob Delarose spent this past season in the Swiss A-League to take the face-off and wins it. Shot through traffic and a good glove save. Sorensen let that one go, and Niederberger flashed the glove up and snared it. We're going to take a break. Scoreless here in the second.
Here at Nokia Arena on the east side of the arena, there's the merchandise store. You can buy lots of fun stuff. There's t-shirts, sweaters, everything, hats, jerseys, everything. And there's also a big store in the fan zone across the street. Now I'm going to give this to someone. And I don't ask me how to get it.
I think someone is this.
And I don't ask me how to get it. Oh,
Germany right back at it tomorrow night. Tough start for them. Sweden, Finland, and USA. The first 3 games for Germany, and then it gets easier after that. Denmark, Austria, Hungary, and France.
Germany needs a spark. They need somebody to grab this game for them, and they're playing a very systematic game. I get that. I understand it, but at the same time, compared to the pace as they move on against some of the other teams, and the same thing is true for Sweden. The pace that we saw in the U.S. game was totally different than this one, and this one's very much about structure as we get an offside call here and a bit of a commotion.
And a hooking penalty. Fishbook is making his way slowly to the penalty box with this puzzling look on his face.
Oh yeah, there's the trip. He's fighting for a puck, but yeah, there's no doubt. You take the guy's feet out from underneath. Nobody's ever happy going in the penalty box, we know that. But that was Tomernes got yanked down to the ice, so maybe Sweden can sneak in a chance or two here in the last 29 seconds.
Second power play of the night for Sweden. Stahoviak plays this in behind his own net for Germany. Gets pinned to the backboards as Germany will try and kill the clock here in the second period. Controlled on the far side. Lucas Raymond will play this down low for Leo Carlson. Draft eligible and will not have to wait long for his name to be called. Intercepted and cleared down the ice, and the period comes to an end. 12-4 the shots in that period in favor of Sweden.
And the Germans did a really good job killing off that last couple of seconds. That was really well executed. They played hard. The battle level, I think, for both teams can certainly go up in this game, and a lot of times that'll add to the pace of the game and the offense as well.
So 2 periods done. They'll wash the ice, and Sweden will have 1 minute and 32 seconds on the power play in the second or third.
Good period, guys. Good period.
The 2023 IIHF app. Featuring all statistics on your favorite players, your favorite teams, and real-time game updates at your fingertips. Find the Showverse in the IIHF app. Explore the action and dive into a new digital world. Play and win amazing prizes. Available on all smart devices. In multiple languages. The 2023 IIHF app. Powered by Skoda. Download it now from the Apple App Store and Google Play.
What do we have this time? Thank you. Oh, player! Heads up, guys! Good job, boys! Six down! It's loose!
Han lurkade omkring, men då attackerade han liksom mot dig och jag kom som i, alltså momentum innan du Kom igen. Sista bästa! Och när det kom.
Germany starts the third period short-handed. Saksa aloittaa kolmannen erän alivoimalla.
Looking for the icebreaker in this game. No score between Sweden and Germany through 40 minutes of play. Each goaltender had a period where they had to be sharp. Lars Johansson was busier in the first period than he was in the second, but has been solid. And at the other end of the ice, Matthias Niederberger was busier in the second than what he was in the first period. But both have been excellent, as the score would indicate.
And it benefits the Germans probably more to go all the way. If it's going to go 0-0 and go to overtime in a shootout, you know, getting a point here or there is big for them. Losing a point here or there for Sweden, who would be one of the more favored teams, that would be a bigger blow to them than it would be certainly to the Germans.
There's always a surprise team, and you always wonder about a team like Denmark. Where are they going to slot in? Are they going to challenge for a top four spot, or are they going to be in the bottom four? And we'll see them.
And ties and overtimes, and that's often the big difference maker. 1 point here or there is big in the tournament.
Rasmus Sandin ties up Nico Sturm. Sandin has been the busiest player. 15 minutes and 15 seconds of ice time for him coming into the third period of this game. JJ Peterka just over 14.5 leads Germany in ice time after 40 minutes. Visman trying to break that up. It skipped away from him. Lucas Raymond on the near side couldn't track that rolling puck down quick enough to get a shot away. And this gets cleared all the way down the ice. And 35 seconds now left in the power play. Andre Peterson plays it across. Everberg. Everberg will leave it for Peterson. Peterson on that offside, takes a look. Peterson tried to come cross ice, fanned on his initial pass, being watched there by Saramis.
That's the wet ice again over there.
Peterson forced to the backhand, puts on the brakes in behind the net. He'll drop it off for Berggren. Berggren scores! Finds the short side, and Jonathan Berggren, late into the power play, gets Sweden on the board.
And Niederberger, who's been really good on his angles all game long and has made it difficult for the Swedes to get one by him. This is really the perfect shot. And he has time and room, and that's what the story is in this tournament on these power plays. And I think the wave of the stick in front, I don't think there was a deflection, but watch the goaltender here if you get a good look. Berggren's taking a good aim there. Oh, it did get tipped. Oh, absolutely. That's why. I didn't catch that until that replay. That's a terrific look. So no doubt a big difference maker there, as Lindberg was the guy in front. That was going to go just to the outside, and no wonder the goaltender wasn't moving much. As I said, Niederberger's really been good on his angles, and that one definitely fooled him as it came back inside, probably about 5 or 6 inches, right up under the bar inside the post.
So Oscar Lindberg with the goal, and not the power play goal, came just as the penalty expired. And Sweden gets the game's opening tally. Tiffels starts the attack for Germany. Dominic Cahoon will carry it in, so we'll see whether or not this opens the game up a little bit for Germany. Tiffels tried to get that to the front of the net. He had Peterka there all by himself, but the pass goes off a shin pad. Visman back in his own end for Germany, being chased there by Berggren. Gets it on for Eel, and Eel finds Marcel Nobles. Nobles puts on the brakes, dropped it back, poked away before Mueller could get the shot through. Visman from the right side lets it go, and I think it was Berggren who got in front of that on the far side. So watch this tip one more time.
Yeah, right in front of the goaltender, and he takes his eyes away for a second too. So there was no chance for the goaltender on this one. At first look, it looked like it had gone straight in. It was a terrific shot, but it was not going to go in. It was going near side, but really good job there by Lindberg, passing through the field of vision of the goaltender Niederberger, and then of course getting the blade of the stick and changing the direction by a good 6 inches right inside the goal post. That's beautifully played.
Berggren and Peterson with the assists. 4th World Championship for Oscar Lindberg, and gets a big goal here for Germany here early in period number 3. Silverberg looks for the return pass. It gets away from him. And taking it all the way back into his own zone is Mueller. Jonas Mueller on for Visman. Kai Visman comes near side for Kastner. Maximilian Kastner let the wrist shot go wide. Gets to the blue line, does not get out on the first try, and Kudus will get it out on the second try.
We could feel the difference in the energy of the game, and that will swing both ways here. The tempo's up a little bit. All it took was 1 goal for players on both teams, I think, to maybe go another level. Germany now gets a little bit more intense. They got to find a way to get back in the game, and the Swedes, of course, like any team, you're energized when somebody on your team scores. So we might have a different feel to this game in the 3rd period, as the game was really just, you know, being dragged out into a positional play game and not much happening at all up to this point.
Stahoviak will play this into the Swedish zone. It comes back at the line for Zuber. Zuber fakes the shot, then lets it go, and he shot it wide. Back at the line for Schutz. Down for Zuber. Zuber trying to throw that to the short side. It's off a stick. Poodle is after it on the far side. It goes away from him. Slides down the ice, and they are going to call this icing against Sweden.
Yeah, the Swedes have more on the line in this game. They want that regulation win. As you go through the course of the tournament, of course, you're going to be playing against the Finns and the U.S. team and the teams that are deeper and better than this German team. And the German team is trying to find a way, even what their coaches and their management have said is, you know, try to get into the quarterfinals and see if you can surprise somebody in a 1-game shot.
Had a look at Sam Hallam, the first-year head coach of the Swedish team. Just finished his 10th season coaching the Vaxio Lakers SHL championship there. Also had championships in 15, 18, and 21. And trying to get Sweden off to a good start, and a 1-0 lead here in the 3rd as Moritz Seider. Expect him to activate a little more here in the 3rd.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. This is really the first time we've seen him do that in this game, actually, now that they're down by 1 goal. And Seider just showed up. So I'll bet you his legs are burning more than a little bit. He's made some very good plays that we've remarked upon defensively, which is no surprise for him either. But we've not seen him activate very much offensively. And he could really raise the temperature offensively for the Germans if he can find his legs here in the 3rd period.
Doesn't get any easier for Germany. Finland tomorrow night in game 3 of the triple headers. This puck goes off a stick and up and out of play.
Well, you don't have a choice, right? The tournament is what it is, but I think when you start at the top and you get things going against a good team, and you know, David Quinn had talked about that. He was glad with the start that they had playing the Finns here at home. I agree with that. If you end up playing the weaker teams early on, maybe you stumble a little bit, you're not playing very well, God forbid you drop a point or two in the, you know, that first game or two, and then you start playing the good teams, yeah, look out. Your tournament's going down the hole in a moment.
France and Austria get it going tomorrow at 12:20 local time. Hungary and Denmark at 4:20. And then Finland and Germany, the nightcap, here in Nokia Arena in Tampere. Peterson takes this to the corner. Andre Peterson trying to get that to the forehand and put it towards the front of the net. Comes off a skate. Ends up back in behind the net. Kai Visman going after it. Eel trying to work it. Gets some help there from Nico Sturm. Sturm to the line. Knocked off of his stick in a bit of a late call as Soremis brought that in. And we'll get a stoppage in play.
Well, the Swedes are known for being able to protect the lead. That's something that's a part of their DNA as well, too. And it doesn't matter year over year, and you have a lot of faces that change. And the Swedes are famous for their system, just like the Finns are famous for theirs, and so on. So with a 1-goal lead, trying to get the balance right here, you still can't back off completely and just keep defending every shift out there. They got to put some pressure on, too, and make Germany defend and come all the way down.
Maximilian Zuber will spin this back in behind the net. No forecheck there from Germany, and that allows an easy exit for Sweden. Putting it back into his own zone is Berggren. Maximilian Kastner with Berggren in after him. Kastner dodged a check on the far side. Now Lindholm with a bump. Knocks the puck loose, takes the return pass, and a good save as Niederberger makes the save on the blast from Oscar Lindberg, who was looking for his second of the period. So Sweden trying to lock this game down. 14 minutes just under to go here in period number 3. The only goal of this game coming just as a power play for Sweden expired. A nice deflection by Oscar Lindberg. Kammernes sends it cross ice for Sandin. The shot blocked in front of the net. Scooped away by Hudel. And they'll send to the right side boards and dumped out at center, but no further. And brought right back in. Around the boards for Hudel. He'll try and jam it up the wall. And a puck battle ensues in the corner. Stahoviak trying to chase it down. Sends it up the boards, kept in at the blue line by Sandin. Back for Lucas Raymond. Raymond bumped off the puck, stays with it. Raymond plays it back at the line for Kammernes. Near side Sandin, rink wide. He was looking for Raymond Lucas, Lucas Raymond, but he was on his way to the bench on the line change. Stahoviak trying to get that to the front of the net, off the end of his stick. And Sorensen will leave it there for Sandin. Germany completing its change. Sandin sends it up at the line. No room there for Jacob Delarose. Bengtsson back into his own zone, goes cross ice. Sandin will put it off the boards, head to the bench on the change. Sorensen tried to get that shot through, could not. Everberg plays it to an open corner. And Tiffels will play it behind his own net. Zuber on from Ward, Sider off the stick. Frederick Tiffels will chase this down for Germany. Puts it to the side of the net. Peterka was there, and it never got to him quickly enough, as the netminder Johansson blocked it on the short side. Jonas Mueller breaks it up, plays it for Tiffels. Into the slot it goes. Quick shot by Dominic Cahoon. Turned away by the left pad of Johansson. Long shot, that goes wide, and getting knocked down for his effort was Carl Grunstrom. Came to the line, Peterson holds it in. Peterson sends it across for Lindholm. And now back up for Germany, Peterka. Hits the line, Peterka dodges a couple of checks, lost his stick though. Lindholm tried to play it up the boards. Peterka intercepts. Par Lindholm has Peterka all tied up. Off the glove of Peterka. Comes loose. Marcel Nobles plays it back. Wrist shot and a good save. Nice setup as Nobles puts that onto the stick of Wagner. And a good save made by Johansson.
Defenseman moving in, got below the top of the circle. Wagner had a terrific look at the net. Really good movement in the net, though, by Lars Johansson. Johansson not early, not late on the play. Pushed off, got right up, squared up in the edge of the paint. Wagner really had nothing to look at there. And the quick movements and early positioning there by Lars Johansson made the save look easy, and it wasn't.
Sweden, Nemeth sends it up at center. Jakob Silfverberg, the captain of this Swedish team, going after it. It's played around the boards, kept in there by Berggren. And now Wagner for Marcel Nobles. Nobles will send this in and a race for it. And a bit of a late call, but they do call icing against Germany.
Lars Johansson moving well in his nets. He's clean. His moves are all clean. He doesn't go down early, but he's on top of it. Even the ones where he's not controlled the rebound very well. He's gotten back into position really well. His team's really good at cutting off the middle of the ice. And you can see where he finished on that one. That was super aggressive on that save as he finished sliding out a couple of feet above the blue paint.
Expectations always high for Sweden, and rightfully so. The last 12 World Championships. 3 gold medals for Canada, 3 gold medals for Finland, 3 gold medals for Sweden. Off the boards it goes. Berggren will send it in. Silfverberg goes in after it. Hudel and Silfverberg tie it up. That allows Nico Sturm to get the loose puck. Nico Sturm will send it around for Saramis. He'll get it out at center. And it slides back in behind Johansson, and Sweden back in the regroup. Nice little spinorama there by Tomernes. Tomernes on for Berggren, and he'll flip it out of harm's way and back inside the German line. Maximilian Zuber right back up the ice.
It's not the volume of the hits in this game, Dennis, but when the hits have happened along the wall, both teams, I mean, they've really gotten into it. They're trying to wear each other down too. Perhaps this is for moving along in the tournament itself, get themselves in the game, and perhaps send messages that, hey, when we see you guys next time around or in the next shift even, the hits along the wall have been heavy.
So they do call that icing, and that'll bring the face-off all the way back. Lucas Raymond will put this in behind the German net. We get our first look at Hungary tomorrow, back in the main group. Seider back in his own zone. Looks for some room, gets it on to Mueller, back for Seider. Seider tried to get that across, and they wave off the icing. Parker Toomey, I think, was waiting for the whistle to go, number 62 for Germany.
He wasn't the only one. There were about 5 guys standing out there who thought that was icing. Moritz Seider's got that look about him. He's trying to find his way up the ice. The Swedes certainly are very well aware of that. They're not going to let him get any momentum going, make the plays that he wants to. They're closing in on number 53 fast.
Stahoviak off the boards and in. Patrick Nemeth off the corner boards and out. On for Carl Grundstrom. Andre Peterson blows a tire at center and went down. Lindholm follows up on the play. Lindholm lost his footing and went down in the corner. Patrick Nemeth has the puck. Nemeth. Visman ties him up. And Mueller on the puck. Mueller got tied up. Gets back into the play and sends it back for Kai Visman. Visman on for Jonas Mueller, and Mueller will send it in. Race to the backboards. Tiffel's trying to knock it loose, and it comes off a stick and goes up and out of play. 8:21 to go, and a 1-0 lead for Sweden.
Legendary referee Dan Stem. And we have now some Swedish fans, and they wanted Bossy to dance with them. Come on, let's get the referee dance going.
Referee dance.
Knee.
Warning.
Charging.
Charging.
Go.
Last year, Italy and Great Britain were relegated. Great Britain winning its tournament back on May 5th. So Great Britain and Poland back into this tournament next year. It will be in Czechia. Here it's a 1-0 lead for Sweden with just over 8 to go in the third period. Dennis Bayek, Brian Engblom, our producer Bucky Buchanan with us here in Tampere. Long left wing pass out to center. Peterka plays it on for Frederick Tiffels. He'll deflect it in. Off the backboards for Anton Lindholm. This will get to the line and out. A little bit of room on the left side for Oscar Lindberg, who has the goal in this game on a deflection. Sorensen gets bodied in the corner. Peterson breaks it up. Andre Peterson shot goes off a stick and wide, and Moritz Seider's on it. Seider will alley-oop it up to the blue line and in. Cleared right back out by Sweden, on for Lindholm. Lindholm forced to the outside by Mueller. Gets rubbed out. They both go to the ice, and Fishbook will leave it there. Seider for Fishbook, and back for Moritz Seider. And on it goes for Jonas Mueller. He'll dump it in. Tomernes ties it up in behind his own net, stuffs it around for Lindholm, and he'll send a backhander off the boards and out. Carl Grundstrom going after it. Grundstrom being watched on the play by Moritz Mueller, the 291s. Kastner trying to jump on a loose puck. Delarose got there first. Lucas Raymond plays it through. Dennis Everberg to the short side, and a glove save made by Niederberger, and we'll get a face-off.
I would say that Oscar Lindberg has been one of the better players on the ice for both teams. Not just the goal that he scored, that really nice redirection, but his ability to make plays coming up the ice has been extremely important. And I think that some of Sweden's best plays have come from him. Berggren's been another guy who's done a really nice job of creating some offense. He's had some really good looks at the net as well.
been directing some traffic. Now the puck put in play. And off a stick and out the center ice, Patrick Nemeth will slam this right back into the German end of the ice, but play does get stopped. 75 NHL games played for Arizona for Patrick Nemeth. 504 total NHL games played. As the fans in Tampere enjoying the IIHF World Championship. It was here last year. There were still some COVID restrictions in play. Helsinki was the other city in play last year. 2 years ago was Riga, back in Riga again. And we have play being called.
Penalty in front of the net.
High stick coming to Sweden.
And this was well away from the play. This is Alexander Nylander going to the penalty box. Let's see what happens. He'll go to the front of the net. There's 98. And he's just a little careless with his stick and gets a slap on the side of the face of one of the German defensemen. 6:18 to go here. An important penalty kill, of course, for the Swedes, and for the Germans, whose puck movement on their few power plays has not been great. It's either get the puck and shoot, make 1 or 2 passes, or move the puck more quickly, make them move.
They've had a couple. It's Sider cross ice for Cahoon, save made, and a good one. Back for Peterka, tried to go to the backside, and Dominic Cahoon couldn't catch up to that. They've had a couple of power plays where this unit that's out there drew the penalty. And they started the other unit, and now this unit gets to
Cahoon's good on the one-timer. I mean, that was a heck of a shot. It was a big save that could have been a goal right off the face-off there. And that kind of setup and those kind of shots, that's exactly what we're talking about. And then he came right back with Peterka, who's the lefty on the left side again, but who's had a really good game for the Germans as well. So you want the puck on those two guys stick for sure.
Fishbook got tied up and went down to the ice hard. He makes his way to the German bench. And now we'll get a complete change. J.J. Peterka trying to get away from Dennis Everberg. And now Peterka will make his way to the bench. On for Marcel Nobles. He'll play it around the boards for Nico Sturm. Back for Nobles. He'll spin it on for Visman. Kai Visman being watched there by Par Lindholm. Lindholm gets a stick into the attempted pass. Good retrieval though by Nico Sturm. And now a tripping penalty coming to Germany, and that will negate the remaining 34 seconds of the power play, and the fans react to that call. So 0 for 4 with 6 power play shots.
Visman, I think, a victim of his own frustration, too. He moved down from the point, didn't handle the puck very well, waited until people were right on top of him, and then when he lost the puck, he ends up drawing the penalty.
There was the play that involved Fishbook that he got shaken up on, Daniel Fishbook, in his 3rd World Championship. Stays on the German bench. So we're going to get 34 seconds of 4-on-4, and then barring any more calls, Sweden will go back to the power play. Center to the short side. Andre Peterson is on it. Peterson puts on the brakes. Sends it down for Henrik Tomernes, who had made his way in from the left point. Moritz Mueller. In across for Nico Sturm. The shot off a stick and wide. Tomernes plays it back for Lucas Raymond. Power play now for Sweden. On it goes for Nylander. Nylander gets rubbed out by Moritz. For Mueller, and on for Jonas Mueller. And taken by Rasmus Sandin. How aggressive will Sweden be on this power play with 1 minute left in the man advantage? Leo Carlson will play it back and play to an open point. Pudas had moved to the middle of the ice. And now Pudas will take it back into his own zone. And play will get whistled down at the blue line.
They'll take their shots on the power play. Sweden will certainly. The only thing you just absolutely cannot do if you're Sweden on the power play is get a shot block from up top, you know, and give Germany a free chance. They're going to look for everything because they have to. Sometimes you get sloppy and you try to force plays through. A bad east-west play right through the box, you know, Germany's going to jump up on the play. So, yeah, even if nothing really happens on the power play, there's no harm, no foul here for Sweden. So just be careful.
Peterson, some good work to try and make his way out of the corner, and gets poke checked there by Jonas Mueller. Over 22,000 for the 2 games on day 1 here for this World Championship. Shot, left pad save, and a good one by Niederberger, and then the net comes off the peg.
Niederberger has been really good in this game, too. I mean, he's made some really good saves. The goaltending, it's a 1-0 hockey game, and even though there haven't been a lot of shots on goal, there's no doubt about that. It's 21-17 for the Swedes, so that's not a ton of shots, but he's had a few tough ones, and he was super aggressive moving across through the crease area, and those Marsh pegs seem to be coming off pretty easy, especially at that end of the ice. That's a couple of
I was just thinking exactly we're on the same wavelength here. I believe Niederberger knew exactly what he was doing there. And it gets a stoppage in play and gets a face-off, and face-off win for Germany. Zuber plays it to the near corner. Puck chopped around the boards away from Schutz. And on it is Sundin. Rasmus Sundin. Cross ice for Par Lindholm. Under 3 to go here. And the power play now over. 1 shot for Sweden with that man advantage. Turned over, short side try. Niederberger may have got a piece of that. Sandin will pitch it around the boards. Par Lindholm is there. Lindholm goes shoulder to shoulder on that far side with Ceramis. Lucas Raymond jumps on the loose puck. Wagner stays with him. Comes back to the line for Sandin. Shot from the line, that's deflected away. Sweden on it again, though. Raymond twisting and turning. He'll drop it back. Bengstrom takes it deep. Swings this back. Jacob Delarose into the final 2 minutes of the 3rd period. And Sweden trying to hang on to the 1-goal lead. Lucas Raymond will spin this all the way around to the far side. Patrick Nemeth will put it back in behind the German net. And right now, Sweden doing everything it can to keep the puck in the German end of the ice and prevent Germany from pulling Niederberger for an extra attacker.
Their forecheck is outstanding. They're swarming the puck at exactly the right time. They're keeping the Germans with their face in the glass.
There's a shot to the short side. Save made as Oscar Lindberg, who has the only goal in this game, had another opportunity. Now back in for Nobles, and Niederberger to the bench for the extra attacker. Cahoon have enough to get across for icing. Yes, just enough.
Pressure's on the Germans now. It's all about face-offs and control here, but boy, the Swedes have done a really good job over the last couple, aided by the power play that they were on, certainly, but then right after that, really good job of just pressing and pressing in the German zone and keeping them back on their heels and not able to get any momentum at all. So this is it, the game on the line right here for the Germans. Have to find a way. No surprise that Peterka is going to be out there, or Moritz Seider. Starts with the face-off. Everybody's got to get involved. Too many times, especially in key situations, players start thinking, okay, after we win the draw, here's what we're going to do, and you end up not helping out in the face-off, and you lose the face-off, and the puck goes down the ice, and now you've wasted 20 or 25 seconds sometimes in doing that. So sometimes reminders. That's a lot of what it is over at the bench too, is reminders of, hey, everybody get involved here on this face-off if you're Germany.
Triple header tomorrow, and it starts at 12:20 local. France will take on Austria. At 4 o'clock, Hungary will take on Denmark. And then the last game tomorrow night will be Germany against Finland. 3 more games on Sunday. Peterka, 6 attackers for Germany. To the corner it goes, comes back to the near side. Dominic Cahoon plays it back for J.J. Peterka for Seider. Seider will go across ice looking for that return pass. Marcel Nobles plays it back for Peterka, back for Seider, back for Nobles. Tees it up and rips it. Johansson reads that one all the way, comes across and makes the save.
Yeah, there's not much sense in holding the puck off to the side if you're Germany. You might as well just keep it moving. A little bit of over stick handling by Cahoon there for a while, and then he decided to pull a trigger, but look where he is. When you're outside the dot by that much here on this ice surface, you're not going to get much on it there, especially when there's no screen. The guys in front are going to have to get in the goaltender's face. That's a pretty easy save. And this time in the hockey game, Germany's got to do better.
Face-off win, so that's job number 1. Seider trying to hold it in and can't. Good job there by Nico Sturm to prevent Par Lindholm from taking a shot at that empty net. Marcel Nobles for Moritz Seider, and time running out on Germany. On for Peterka. Nice move to get away from Everberg. Peterka has to take this to the net. Off his stick, gets a second chance. It's deflected, and Sweden will escape with a 1-0 victory over Germany. A goal early in period number 3 on a deflection from Oscar Lindberg. And a game 1 shutout for Lars Johansson.
Yeah, 1-0 hockey game. He didn't have a lot of shots, but he had his share, especially kind of spaced out. Sometimes that's even harder for a goaltender when there's a lot of time in between shots. But Johansson did an absolutely terrific job there and earned this shutout. The Germans, I think, were just a little bit too late. They go to the offense, but they started to come on as the game went on when there was more desperation in their play. But a good win for the Swedish team, who did a nice job there. I thought Lindberg was one of their best players for sure.
So they get the job done. Sweden still with a couple of positions to be filled. Let's see what they decide to do with that. We're going to have our player of the game presentations, and then we will have the Swedish national anthem, and that will wrap up day 1 here in Tampere on a busy opening weekend. We'll have 3 games tomorrow and 3 games on Sunday. So we will get our first look at Austria. We'll get our first look at France. We'll get our first look at Hungary, who qualified and get back into the main group. And they'll try and stay here. That's been a challenge for them in previous tournaments.
The prize for the team Sweden
but this one, a big win for Sweden, as they win this by a score of 1-0 and get the tournament off on a successful note.
The prize for Team Germany is presented by
I thought Rasmus Sandin had a really good game for Sweden too on defense. He and Nemeth logged a lot of ice time, controlled the play an awful lot, made some big plays at key times, killed plays really well. So Sandin in particular, I thought really good in that department.
Best player of Team Germany, Saksan paras pelaaja, number 92, numero 92, Marcel Nobles.
Marcel Nobles, the player of the game for Germany, had the last chance on that cross-ice pass that Johansson made the save on.
Best player of Team Sweden, Ruotsin paras pelaaja, number 31, numero 31, Lars Johansson.
Well-deserved player of the game, yeah, for Johansson. Anytime you get a shutout in a 1-0 hockey game, you got to be looking at your goaltender. That's well done.
Tested in the first period. when Germany outshot Sweden 9-4 in that opening 20 minutes and made a number of good saves. And then Sweden got better and better as the game kept going, found a way to score the game's opening goal early in the third period. So Sweden wins this by a score of 1-0, and a victory for new coach Sam Hallam.
If you're able, please rise and remove your hats for the national anthem of the winning team, Sweden. Arvoisa yleisö, jos pystyt, pyydän nousemaan ylös, ottamaan hatun pois päästäsi ja kuulemaan voittajajoukkueen Ruotsin kansallishymnin.
So day one complete. United States defeats Finland 4-1. Sweden with a 1-0 victory over Germany. Good night from Tampere.
Here in Nokia Arena at 12:20 p.m. with the game Team France against Team Austria. Welcome. Vuoden 2023 IIHF jääkiekon MM-kisat jatkuvat huomenna Nokia Areenalla ottelulla Ranska-Itävalta kello 12:20. Tervetuloa.
Marcel, this was a 0-0 game through the majority of it. What made Sweden ultimately so hard to crack through?
Yeah, good defense. It was really tough to score today. I think it was a really close game. It could have gone either way. We didn't use the chance on the power play twice, and Sweden had one chance. They buried that one, and we had tough times to find the back of the net. And sad for us, but it's a long tournament. Hopefully we can build on this, and tomorrow is another big night.
Well, you mentioned tomorrow night, you of course are playing the defending champion in Finland. What do you want to focus on ahead of that game?
I think there's a lot of positive from today. We got to carry on to tomorrow. It's going to be really similar what we saw today. Really good defensive game that the Finn play. So we got to focus on ourselves, on our game. Play really simple. It's going to be probably a sold-out night. So get the crowd out of the game and hopefully shoot the first goal. Thank you.
Thank you. After a deadlock for over 2 periods, you finally break through a great tip in there. What did you see on the setup from Jonathan Berggren?
Oh, it was a long power play, and I finally got a shot on net, and it kind of hit my stick and it went in, so it was a good feeling.
Lars Josinen, player of the night, shutout this evening. What stood out to you about his performance, and how critical was he to tonight's win?
I think the way he kept calm the whole night, and he talked to us a lot back there and helped us out like that, so he was a huge win for us.
Last meeting. Group A brings some heavyweights with it. Finland, USA, obviously Germany amongst them. What does a regulation win over Germany mean to your team in this tournament?
Nej, men jag tycker det är viktigt att få en bra start. Men det är ett bra lag, Tyskland, och vi verkligen kämpar för det. Och, satt långt inne, men det var skönt att vi kunde vinna till slut.
Oscar, thank you.
Thank you very much.
instantly for those early bird tickets.